All right, let's identify the types of roots by looking at the actual graphs. So here we have three different parabolas, which is a word for a quadratic graph. And all quadratics have two roots. We learned that yesterday. So here we go. First thing that you really need to know is what is a root. So roots are the same thing as zeros or solutions. They're also thought of in sometimes as x-intercepts because any x-intercept that you have is also a root. It's just it has to be a real root if you actually see it on the graph like that. So for example, in this first graph here, we have two real roots. We have a root, that's where x is 0, where x is where the actual blue graph touches the x-axis. So where does that happen? It happens right here. Let's see. At -1, you have a root, and at 3, you have a root. That's two real roots. 1, 2 real roots. In contrast, in the second graph, there's actually only one. There's only one time. We're still looking at the x-axis, and there's still only one time that this graph hits. What happens is it comes and hits the x-axis, and it bounces off. Bounces off. That is when there is one double root. So it counts as two roots. They're just both -3. Those are the real roots, -3 and -3. Whereas here, there were two different roots. That was two real roots, one double root, and then we come across this example. In this example, you're not seeing any real roots. You can travel with your finger across this entire x-axis and never, ever, ever, ever will you touch the blue. It's not like it's, if you keep going for infinity or back to -infinity, it doesn't matter. You will never touch that graph on the x-axis. So that shows you that there are no real roots. That means because there are two roots, if there's no real roots, there must be two imaginary roots. That's the answer for how many roots or what type of roots. There are two imaginary roots on this graph. So that is the three, those are the three and the only three options for quadratics. Two real roots, one double root, or there's no real roots. It doesn't matter where you go on this entire graph. You will never ever touch the x-axis and the graph at the same time.